Former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney Robert Bianchi is back with us to talk more about this. I mean, this all comes down to the question of how do you begin to put a price on someone's life?
Yeah, when you're dealing with police brutality cases and civil rights cases, there's an assessment in the end. Our first assessment is, did the cops do something that is legally wrong by the law, not by the court of public opinion? And the second part is, what is the value of that? There are three areas, Erica, of value. Compensatory damages, it's a little law school class, which means you compensate the person for their pain and suffering. The second is economic damages. What would the lifespan of a person be and how much are the economic damages? And maybe a little touch in each state, it's a little different of punitive damages. Believe it or not, Erica, if the person survives the shooting, they're entitled to more money because there's more pain and suffering than if they actually die. It's kind of an anomaly in the law. So the question really becomes, it's kind of like minestrone. You put a lot of ingredients in there and you wait to see if it tastes right and whether they're going to be willing to accept it. But here, clearly, this settlement was huge by standards of civil cases. They wanted out because they were worried about the damage, the reputational damage, litigation.
When you say they, you mean the city?
Absolutely. I mean, let's face it. This guy, in my opinion, I'm a supporter of cops, and it's a very, very complex thing when you're doing a motor vehicle stop. I understand that I haven't been a former prosecutor, but here's an innocent guy lawfully in possession of a weapon, and he winds up dead, shooting into a car with another woman and a baby. This is not the kind of case you want to go before a jury with, because you don't know how bad you could get whacked if you were the city attorney on something like this. So
we should point out this settlement was $3 million. It was done very quickly, as you point out, and it comes just a few days after Michael Brown's family also had a settlement. Theirs was about half, though. Which again brings into question, I mean, we look at something like media attention that these cases got. They both got a lot of media attention. We look at what happened in the trials. How much does all of that, especially in this day and age, how much does that come into play?
The media attention is huge. In the civil rights cases I tried, typically speaking, even when we had it on video, they would really push you all the way to the courtroom, trying the case, very small settlements, if any settlement at all. But the media attention that's placed on this, the court of public opinion places a lot of pressure on the town to settle these cases. You'll see a difference with the Michael Brown settlement as opposed to a settlement like we're talking about here, because Michael Brown, with all due respect, there was a little bit more of a different scenario in terms of how the events unfolded, and that meant the town had a better argument at trial. So therefore the settlement went down. Real
quickly, a settlement, as we know, is not an admission of guilt. But do these repeated settlements that we're seeing in these cases that are getting national attention, does this have an impact, you think, on the way the community views their relationship with law enforcement?
Absolutely, and that's why as a prosecutor, having been a former civil rights litigator, I went out to those communities because I understand that there is legitimate claims in their mind by their lens of issues that police are doing, most of which are doing a great job, but there are problems and they need to be corrected. My experience tells me when I've hit some big civil rights cases for a lot of money, there were departments that actually acted in good faith to change the policies, procedures, and training, and there were those that could care less.
All right, Bob Bianchi, good to have you with us. Thank you.
My pleasure.